Hawthorne Hollow, a peaceful small town with cobblestone streets and quaint houses, always brimmed with magic every December. For Sarah, a 27-year-old single mother, and her 8-year-old son, Mark, Christmas was a time of warmth and joy. Their Victorian-style house, inherited from her grandparents, held many cherished memories. But that Christmas, the house that was once their safe haven, became the center of a haunting nightmare, an unexpected encounter with Santa. On the afternoon of December 24th, Sarah took Mark to the mall to shop for Christmas gifts and soak in the festive atmosphere. Mark, with the enthusiasm of a young boy, darted from one toy store to another, insisting on a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, a gift Sarah had already secretly purchased. As they exited the mall through the south entrance, a Santa Claus appeared out of nowhere. He stood near the door, waving at passers-by and spreading holiday cheer. Mark's eyes lit up as he tugged his mother's hand. "Hi, Santa," Mark exclaimed. Santa crouched to meet Mark's gaze, his eyes scanning the boy with an oddly intent look. "Well, well, Mark, have you been a good boy this year?" Mark nodded vigorously. "Yes, I even helped Mom bake cookies," Santa laughed, a loud, exaggerated laugh that sounded unsettling. "Cookies, huh? Maybe I'll stop by tonight to have a taste." Sarah forced a smile and pulled Mark closer. "Come on, Mark. Say goodbye to Santa. We need to go." As they walked away, Sarah felt a shiver run down her spine, like someone's eyes were boring into her back. She glanced over her shoulder and found Santa still watching them, an eerie smile lingering on his face. She shook her head, dismissing the feeling as paranoia, the signs of something amiss. Once home, Sarah tried to shake off the unease. Mark, blissfully unaware, dashed to the living room and turned on his favorite Christmas movie. Sarah locked the doors, drew the curtains, and did her best to enjoy the evening with her son. But as they laughed and enjoyed the film, the doorbell suddenly rang. Sarah froze and glanced at the clock. It was almost 10 p.m., far too late for visitors. "Who is it?" she called out, her voice trembling. A deep voice responded from the other side of the door. "It's Santa. You dropped something at the mall. I just wanted to return it." Sarah's heart pounded in her chest. She knew she hadn't dropped anything. "You've got the wrong house. Please leave or I'll call the police," she replied firmly. After a moment of silence, the voice returned, softer but more sinister. "No need to be so tense, Sarah. We just met earlier, remember?" The way he said her name made her blood run cold. She grabbed Mark and retreated to the farthest room, dialing 911 immediately, uncovering the terrifying truth. The police arrived quickly but found no one outside. They advised Sarah to stay vigilant and consider installing additional security measures. But the ordeal wasn't over yet. The next morning, Sarah found a note slipped under her door. The message left her breathless. "Dear Sarah, you and Mark are absolutely lovely. I can't stop thinking about the two of you since we met at the mall. I feel we share a special connection, don't you? Don't worry, I already know where you live. I'll be waiting for the right moment to become a part of your family. Merry Christmas, your Santa." Sarah immediately contacted the police, handing over the letter as evidence. After a thorough investigation, authorities discovered that the man was not an employee of the mall, but a dangerous individual who had been stalking Sarah for weeks. He was apprehended and charged with multiple offenses. A haunting lesson that Christmas left an indelible mark on Sarah's life. Although the man was caught, the memory of his intrusion lingered. She found herself double-checking locks and peering out windows at night, her sense of security forever shaken. Sarah learned a vital lesson that year. Sometimes the things that seem most innocent can hide the darkest shadows. Mamunam. The night Santa came back. That Christmas Eve started off as idyllic as any could be. Sarah and Mark, snuggled up on the couch, immersed themselves in Home Alone. Mark, with his infectious laughter, reenacted scenes from the movie, occasionally quoting lines as if he were Kevin McAllister himself. The living room glowed with the soft light of the Christmas tree, its ornaments casting shimmering patterns on the walls. Sarah felt her earlier unease from the mall slipping away, replaced by the cozy comfort of home. But as the credits rolled and the room fell silent, a sound broke the tranquility. The doorbell. The unexpected visitor. Sarah glanced at the clock. 10:15 p.m. Her brows furrowed. It was far too late for visitors, especially in their quiet town of Hawthorne Hollow. Her first thought was of carolers, but the timing seemed odd, and there was no accompanying music or chatter. Mark, still lost in the warmth of the moment, looked up curiously. "Stay here, sweetheart," Sarah said, her voice calm but her instincts tingling with unease. She approached the door slowly, her heart thumping louder with each step. Peeking through the peephole, her breath hitched. It was him, Santa, the mall Santa. His red suit stood out starkly against the snowy backdrop, and his face, partially obscured by the thick, fake beard, looked eerily calm. His presence felt wrong, unnatural. "Miss, you dropped something earlier," he called, his voice muffled but still recognizable. Sarah's fingers tightened around the doorknob. She hadn't dropped anything. She was certain. "I don't think so," she replied, her voice trembling but firm. "Please leave." The man shifted slightly, his body language still unnervingly calm. "I just want to return it," he said again, his tone now tinged with irritation. "It's Christmas, after all. Don't be rude." The realization. Sarah stepped back, her hands shaking as she grabbed her phone and called the mall's management office. Her gut twisted as the man on the other end of the line confirmed her worst fear. "There is no official mall Santa this year," he said. The words echoed in her mind, the room spinning slightly as panic surged through her. Sarah returned to the door, her voice rising. "If you don't leave, I'm calling the police." For a moment, there was silence. She held her breath, hoping against hope that he was gone. But then, faintly, a chilling reply came. "Ho, ho, ho." The sound wasn't jolly. It was low, mocking, and sent a shiver down her spine. The terrifying night. Sarah called 911 immediately, her voice barely steady as she explained the situation. Mark, sensing his mother's distress, crept up beside her. She quickly ushered him upstairs to his room, locking the door and telling him to stay put. Minutes felt like hours as she waited for the police. From the upstairs window, she peered out into the front yard. The figure was gone, leaving only footprints in the snow. But the nightmare wasn't over. As the police arrived and began searching the perimeter, one of the officers noticed a set of tracks leading from the front door to the side of the house. The officer's flashlight illuminated a broken window leading into the basement. A fight for safety. Sarah's heart pounded as she realized the man might already be inside. She clutched Mark tightly, barricading the bedroom door with whatever she could find while the officers descended into the house. The muffled sounds of their search reached her ears. Doors creaking open, heavy footsteps, the occasional barked command. Then a shout. "Hands in the air!" The man had been hiding in the basement, waiting for an opportunity to climb upstairs. In his possession, the police found a crowbar and a tattered notebook filled with ramblings about Sarah and Mark. He had been following them for weeks, observing their routines, and the mall encounter had merely been his way of getting closer. A chilling aftermath. Though the man was arrested and taken into custody, the events of that night left Sarah shaken to her core. The idea that someone could infiltrate her life so easily in a season meant for joy and safety was a chilling reminder of the dangers lurking in the shadows. From that night on, Sarah changed every lock in the house, installed a state-of-the-art security system, and always kept a close eye on her surroundings. While the warmth of Christmas eventually returned to their home, the memory of that night lingered, a haunting reminder of the moment the magic of the season turned into a nightmare. Wool. The chilling Christmas note. The next morning, as the soft winter sunlight filtered through the frosted windows, Sarah made her way to the front door to grab the morning paper. But instead of finding the usual holiday cheer of advertisements and festive greetings, her eyes fell on something far more sinister, a note taped carefully to her door. The sight of it sent a cold shiver down her spine. A disturbing message. The note was typed, precise, and folded with unnerving care. Sarah hesitated before opening it, her hands trembling slightly. The words inside made her blood run cold. "You're beautiful, Sarah, and Mark is such a sweet boy. I'd love to be part of your family someday. You can't ignore the connection we had. I already know where you live, so let's make this happen. Merry Christmas. Ted." Sarah's stomach churned as she read and reread the words. The name at the bottom, Ted, was unfamiliar, but the tone of the message was unmistakably from the man dressed as Santa. The mention of Mark made her feel sick, and the phrase, "I already know where you live," echoed ominously in her mind. Calling for help. With shaking hands, Sarah dialed the police, her voice cracking as she explained the situation. 2 officers arrived within the hour, taking the note as evidence. They assured her they would look into it, promising increased patrols in the area. But as the days passed, the assurances began to feel hollow. There were no updates, no arrests, and no sign of Ted. Each time the wind rattled a window or the snow fell heavier, Sarah's paranoia deepened. She began checking every lock twice, drawing the curtains even during the day, and avoiding leaving the house unless absolutely necessary. A sense of unease. Sarah tried to maintain a sense of normalcy for Mark, but her fear seeped into their daily life. She enrolled Mark in a holiday art class to keep him occupied while she worked from home. But every moment he was away from her filled her with dread. One night, as she tucked Mark into bed, he asked innocently, "Mom, will Santa really come visit us?" Her heart clenched. She forced a smile and replied, "Santa's very busy, sweetheart. He has lots of kids to visit." Mark didn't notice the way her voice trembled or how she double-checked the window locks in his room before turning off the lights. An unexpected encounter. A few days later, Sarah ventured to the grocery store, a rare outing since receiving the note. She parked near the entrance, eager to get in and out quickly. As she loaded her groceries into the car, she felt a presence behind her. "Sarah," a deep voice called. She froze, clutching the bag of apples in her hand like a lifeline. Turning slowly, she saw him, the man from the mall, the Santa who had invaded her peace. He wasn't in costume this time. Dressed in a heavy coat and scarf, he looked unremarkable, almost ordinary, but his eyes burned with a disturbing intensity. "Don't be scared," he said, raising his hands as if to reassure her. "I just wanted to talk." Sarah's instincts kicked in. She dropped the bag, darted to the driver's seat, and locked the doors. Her hands fumbled to start the car, but before she could pull away, he leaned against the window, his breath fogging the glass. "You're making this harder than it needs to be," he said, his voice muffled. "We could be happy together, you and Mark." Sarah didn't wait to hear more. She slammed on the gas, speeding out of the parking lot and heading straight to the police station. The breaking point. At the station, Sarah recounted the encounter, her voice breaking as she described the man and his words. This time, the police seemed to take her more seriously. They began an active search for Ted, promising to patrol the area near her home more frequently. But the damage was already done. Sarah couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. Every sound in the night felt like a threat, every shadow a sign that Ted was lurking nearby. She installed security cameras, changed the locks, and started keeping a baseball bat by her bed. The arrest. It wasn't until Christmas Eve, exactly 1 week after the note appeared, that Sarah got a call from the police. Ted had been found loitering near her home, watching from his car. When confronted, he claimed he was just passing by. But a search of his vehicle revealed a notebook filled with detailed observations about Sarah and Mark's routines. Among the pages was a chilling entry. She smiled at me. That's how I know she feels the same way. Mark will grow to love me as his new dad. It's only a matter of time. Ted was arrested on charges of stalking and harassment. The officers assured Sarah he wouldn't be able to harm her or Mark anymore. A fragile peace. Though Ted was gone, the experience left Sarah deeply shaken. Even as the snow fell peacefully outside her window, the warmth of the holiday season felt distant. She knew it would take time to rebuild her sense of safety, but she also knew she would never ignore her instincts again. That Christmas, as Mark unwrapped his Nintendo Switch, Sarah held him a little closer. The joy on his face was a reminder of the love and strength she needed to protect him and herself. She had faced her darkest fears and emerged stronger, but the scars of that season would remain a haunting reminder of how quickly peace can be shattered. A Christmas Eve to remember. The house was quiet, the only sounds coming from the crackling fireplace and the soft rustle of wrapping paper. Sarah worked diligently in the living room, carefully wrapping the last of Mark's presents. The Christmas tree stood in the corner, its lights twinkling in the dim room, casting warm patterns on the walls. Outside, the snow fell steadily, blanketing the quiet town in a serene stillness. Mark had gone to bed early, excited for Santa's arrival, leaving Sarah a rare moment of peace. But as she reached for another roll of tape, a sound broke the silence, a faint tapping, coming from the kitchen window. A shadow at the window. Sarah froze, her heart skipping a beat. Maybe it's the wind, she thought, though the sound was deliberate, rhythmic. Slowly she rose, her hands trembling as she tiptoed toward the kitchen. The tapping stopped as she approached. Peeking through the blinds, she scanned the snow-covered yard, her breath fogging the cold glass. For a moment, she saw nothing. The yard was empty, the trees swaying gently in the winter breeze. She exhaled, her body relaxing slightly, until she saw it. A shadow shifted near the corner of the house, moving closer. And then, a face appeared. It was him, the same Santa from the mall, his face pressed against the window, his eyes wide and unblinking, staring directly at her. The fake beard was gone, revealing a smirk that twisted into something more sinister. The threat escalates. Sarah stumbled back, her breath coming in quick, shallow gasps. She grabbed the first thing within reach, a kitchen knife, and shouted, "Go away!" Her voice cracked, but she held her ground. The man didn't move at first. He seemed to savor her fear, his smirk deepening. Then, with a deliberate slowness, he raised his hand and waved. Suddenly, he disappeared into the darkness, but a faint laugh echoed through the frigid air, chilling Sarah to the core. It wasn't the joyful ho 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 of Santa Claus. It was a low, mocking chuckle that lingered long after he was gone. Calling for help. Shaking, Sarah grabbed her phone and called 911. Her voice trembled as she explained the situation, her words spilling out in panicked fragments. The operator assured her that officers were on their way, but every second felt like an eternity. She checked on Mark, who was sound asleep, blissfully unaware of the terror unfolding downstairs. She locked his bedroom door and returned to the living room, clutching the knife tightly. Within minutes, red and blue lights flashed outside her window. The police searched the property thoroughly, but the snow-covered yard revealed no fresh footprints. It was as if the man had vanished into thin air. The chilling discovery. The officers reassured Sarah, but as they prepared to leave, one of them found something, a candy cane broken in half, lying on the porch. Taped to it was a note, hastily scribbled and barely legible in the dim light. "You can't hide forever, Sarah. I'll see you soon. Merry Christmas." The officer's expression hardened as he read the note, and Sarah's legs nearly gave out beneath her. A sleepless night. The police promised to patrol the area and stay nearby for the night, but Sarah's sense of safety was shattered. She double-checked every lock, drew every curtain, and even pushed furniture against the doors. Despite her efforts, the house no longer felt like the haven it once was. She sat awake in the living room, the knife still in her hand, listening for every creak and rustle. Each hour dragged on, her paranoia growing with every passing moment. A clue in the snow. The next morning, as the first light of dawn broke over Hawthorne Hollow, Sarah stepped outside cautiously to check the yard. The snow, untouched the night before, now bore a set of footprints. They circled the house, leading from window to window, stopping at the kitchen and Mark's bedroom. The police returned, following the tracks to the edge of the property, where they abruptly stopped. It was as if the man had simply disappeared.